cuisine shines. Let's go down to Masoni's. We'll have a good old time. Homemade pasta at Masoni's. Sauce is fresh and fine. Good friends gather at Masoni's. Join us anytime. Taste the pizza at Masoni's with flavor so divine. Bring your good times, appetite. Join us anytime. Homemade ice cream at Masoni's, freshly churned each time. Bring your laughter and your friends. Joy is what you'll find.
It is. We hit the wrong button, but hey, Masoni's, it's always a great place to go, you know. Long week, a lot of stuff happening this week. The government's open again, which means there's more cars on the road.
Well, good news, though. I think we should be thankful. We do have that going for us with the government being reopened, so that's good.
What, traffic, Dave? You're thankful for traffic?
No, believe it or not, I was out yesterday at middle of the afternoon in Fairfax County. Lots of traffic. So
yeah,
I didn't see any benefit. So it was still a lot of traffic. And I was going to Tyson's Corner packed. So
yeah, that all that construction, once it's finished, it'll be fine. But
yeah, maybe. There's a lot of construction going on.
Yeah.
So
you've got that, and we're coming up on Thanksgiving week, so we may or may not be on next week. It all depends, you know. And
but yeah, shows you how this year has flown by. I mean, we're already now approaching Thanksgiving, so it's flown by.
Yeah.
So what do you make of the embarrassment of Jasmine Crockett saying that Jeffrey Epstein has given money to Lee Zeldin?
You know, honest to God, she is like the dumbest woman in Congress. And there's a lot of dumb women in Congress.
Yeah, she is dumb. You know. And I don't know if it's laziness. She didn't bother to look at it. Just, I mean, if that's a legitimate argument, it's okay because I didn't say the Jeffrey Epstein. I said a Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing. And they used Google. They didn't go to the FEC. They should have just gone to FEC and they could have found it so much quicker than Google. Gotcha. She probably went to Open Secrets or something like that to find that information.
Yeah, okay.
And she is no rocket scientist.
Yeah, and the thing is, what was Zeldin supposed to do? Say, hey, your name is Jeffrey Epstein. I can't contribute to you, you know?
Yeah. And I actually know 3 other Jeffrey Epsteins, by the way.
Yeah, I think I have met another one too. I have.
I know. But I think
it's not an uncommon name. Think about it. It's not an uncommon name.
It is not yeah.
It's not uncommon.
I know. So Jasmine Crockett continues to not disappoint in the dumbness.
And you had that other member of Congress apparently indicted on stealing FEMA funds, I think it was, from Florida.
COVID relief.
COVID relief.
Yeah. And that's a crying shame, frankly.
Yeah, and then we have corruption, if that's true.
Yeah. And by the way, Dave, I don't know if you know about this. This happens weird, but we know it's an election year when Democrats in Maryland start talking about, we can't raise taxes because it's it's an election year when Democrats say they don't want to raise taxes. Like,
yeah, that's right.
David Moon, who's this crazy lefty delegate from downtown Silver Spring, he is saying, "Hey guys, we can't raise taxes or fees. We're gonna have to find cuts," you know. And I think there's a couple things. One, I think he wants to be speaker. And this might be a ploy to knock out the sitting speaker because, like everything else, Montgomery County runs the show in Annapolis because they got the largest delegation.
Okay, even more so than Baltimore.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Montgomery County has the highest number of registered Republicans in the state.
okay.
We also have the largest number of registered independents and Democrats in the state.
Yeah.
So that's the bit. Yeah, it's kind of cool to have the largest number of registered. I mean, I remember we had 145,000 registered Republicans in Montgomery County. That was just not that long ago in 2010.
Wow.
145,000.
Wow, that's a lot.
And yeah, I mean, Fairfax probably has similar numbers because you are also the largest, most populous county in the Old Dominion.
There's 1.1 million people who live in Fairfax County, so it is big. I always tell people it's larger than D.C., and Democrats want to make D.C. a state, so and Fairfax County is larger.
Yeah, well, then you have West Virginia's attempts to annexing parts of Maryland and Chris, they're going after your district there.
They're making an effort.
Saw that.
Yeah.
I know. There was a friend of mine who I used to say, when you run for governor, your platform is going to be unifying the two Virginias. I go, we'll go down, he goes, yeah, we'll go find a wall or a fence between West Virginia and Virginia. And I go, and you'll paraphrase the President Reagan speech, tear down this wall or tear down this. Senator Byrd, tear down this wall. But
well, it shows how politics has changed because remember, West Virginia was voting Democrat for president up until
George W. Bush.
I mean, it had been a while.
Bush. Yeah. And that was always like a a little odd to me that Virginia would vote Democrat. I mean, remember, Jay Rockefeller was their governor and senator for the longest time.
Yeah, that's right.
But
it was a very union state. I think the reason is a very pro-union state.
Yeah. But so how was I don't know if you saw your opponent. She didn't vote to open she did not vote to open the government up. She wants to. Then again,
yep.
Was it her husband that shut down the offices all through COVID?
I mean, no, that would have been Trone that was in at the time.
Oh, that's right. That was Trone. Yes, Trone did that. Maybe she's taking a page out of the Trone playbook by saying that, hey, I want to keep my offices closed, But it's really a shame that she wants to keep Americans, not Democrats, not Republicans, Americans sitting at home, missing another paycheck. If she had her way, this would be we'd be coming up on a third paycheck that's been missed. As you know, it would have been a third paycheck on the 15th.
No, she came out and said that she was, desperately wanted it to open, and she had 35,000 federal employees, but yet she voted to keep it, voted against opening it back up. So I don't know that they had a real strategy as to what they were trying to achieve other than trying to do something in opposition to stop what Trump has been able to achieve. And they got nothing out of this other than talking out of both sides of their mouth.
Yeah. And I'm willing to bet she did not pick up the phone once to call Chris Van Hollen or Angela Alston-Brooks and say, hey, vote to open the government up.
Of course not.
Stop voting with Chuck Schumer.
Do what's best for the state. Not, I've said this before. CD6 has been plagued with out-of-district millionaires playing national politics at the expense of the residents of CD6, going all the way back to Roscoe Bartlett. You've had Delaney, Trone, and now Delaney again, kind of playing national politics and not addressing the concerns of CD6. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I mean, it's an outrage. It's kind of like what's Frank Wolf's district? That they took. Well, not Frank Wolf. There was a guy named Stan Paris, congressman from.
That was the 8th. Yeah, one of the last ones to be in the 8th district. Actually, the last Republican.
Yeah, and what they did was they took his district. He gave him more of Alexandria, and he lost.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I mean, Northern Virginia used to have 3 elected Republicans back in the day.
Yeah, that's right.
Just like Maryland, we had 4 elected Republicans across the entire state. And here's something.
Right. We did. Yeah.
You know how Democrats always talk about equity. Chris, how everything has to be fair.
Mhm.
How is it fair that the Democrats in Annapolis gerrymandered us out? We are about 40% of the population. Should we not have 40% representation in Congress for Republicans? Should we not have at least 3 Republican districts for us?
Wes Moore's line that was quoted repeatedly was he wanted to make sure that every vote was counted in a 7-1 state. He actually said that. He should have just come out and said, look, we're going to gerrymander. That I would have had more respect had he just come out and said, look, we're going to play the game. It's a knife fight. We're going to go all in on this. But to come out and try to claim that they were actually trying to do a fair redistricting so that all voices were heard is the most absurd thing I've ever seen. In this equity argument, it's only when it suits them, not whenever it actually suits anyone else's interests.
Yeah, it's basically, he's Governor IDGAF,
Yeah.
IDGAF.
Even what Newsom did, I'd have had more respect if Wes Moore would have just come out and said, look, we're going to do it. We're playing hardball.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. Also, in this week in Maryland, we also found out the Bay Bridge, not the Bay Bridge. We found out this week the Bay Bridge is also it's also on the list of a bridge that's deeply, deeply needs TLC, so to speak. But the Key Bridge, the costs are astronomical. Why we didn't have the Army Corps of Engineers build the new Key Bridge? Instead, we have Wes Moore and his buddies and his cronies who probably, I'm willing to bet the company that's doing the construction, they've signed a contract with, was a big Wes Moore donor, I bet.
I think the cost tripled. It went from 1.9 to 5.8 or 5.9.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be done until 2030 now. They said 2028. Now it's going to be 2030.
Yeah.
And you know how these government road projects go, Chris. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Big Dig. It was a very elaborate tunnel in Massachusetts. There was that was one of the things that Senator Kennedy goes, it'll be the first wonder of the new millennia, the Big Dig. And by the way, the Big Dig, like after it opened, the tiles from the roof were falling down and stuff like that. But yeah, when the government does something, it takes them forever. I mean, look at Army Corps of Engineers. They build dams, they build bridges, they do, levees, they do dikes, they do, they do a lot of the levees in New Orleans, they've got several projects on the Mississippi River Delta. And you know something? Their projects are built well. They stand the test of time. And here's another thing. Maryland, with all the regulations they have, let's look at the Wilson Bridge. That was the last bridge in our area that was built. The Woodrow Wilson Bridge.
It took my childhood.
Yeah, we were at NET when that was happening. Paris Glendenning was governor when that happened.
I know, but they started on that it took so many years because you had all these
planning. It's kind of the ICC. You had signs that said Agnew for governor underneath them.
Yep.
But the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, Governor Allen in Virginia built his side of the Woodrow Wilson Bridge faster and cheaper. Maryland used Davis-Bacon rules. The project took twice as long and cost almost twice as much.
Yeah.
So,
we can look at the American Legion Bridge right now. Look at what Virginia has done and what we've failed to do.
Yeah, and why don't we have hot lanes? That is the one thing I don't know. We get that bottleneck at the bridge because the hot lanes end. Frankly, we need to take those hot lanes all over to Maryland, frankly. I'd pay more to use those, frankly.
I mean, at that bridge, I know there was money allocated that Maryland kind of, screwed up and didn't take advantage of it. I mean, there's any number of things they need to do, either expand it, make it a double decker, just upgrade it. But it's amazing what Virginia has gotten done on their side. And then you hit the Maryland side and it hasn't changed in, I think, as long as anyone can remember.
Yeah, because we have those silly Davis-Bacon. Every public works project is a Davis-Bacon. process they use for that. So you got the union labor, you got all the, why don't we just hire people that can get the job done fast? I mean, this does not happen on the private side. If, let's say, Chris, you're building an office building, it wouldn't take you, granted, you got the permits but once you get the permits, your building is up in a matter of basically 6 months to a year. You've got your building done.
It's accountability. I mean, whenever you got to pay the bills, every second that you're not making money, you're losing money.
Yep. Your building doesn't sit idle for 5 years, and
can't afford that.
And that's what the state of Maryland is doing. Their roads are, I mean, they can't even fix potholes on the Beltway. I tell you, there was this, when I go to NASA, there's a section on the Beltway right after the IKEA store. There's this pothole, and every morning people swear to, it's basically a little, it's kind of it doesn't look as bad as it feels when you go over it when your car is a little bit of a buckling there. I mean, it would take them at night to have a repair crew come in there, put down asphalt, fix that. It would take them all but a few hours, but no, it's been there for like 3 years now. 3 years. And there's, I think Maryland also did not take advantage of all the lockdown policies during COVID when they could have accelerated some of these road projects because there were so few people on the road at that point. It would have been the least amount of pain inflicted on people.
I think I've told you when I arrived and I was at the Pentagon, I thought I was like, what does everyone complain about? It's taking me, this is an easy drive, to go from Gaithersburg to the Pentagon was 25 minutes door to door.
Yeah.
It's because only 10% of people were going to work at the time.
Exactly. And now it's going to, now if you had to do that, it'd be about an hour.
Hour and 10, if not longer. Yeah. And that's assuming there's no accident.
Yeah. I mean, this past week, a truck got stuck under the underpass on the Beltway going to right after 50. It was the traffic was backing up to Route 1 at 6:30 in the morning. That was crazy that it's backing up to Route 1 at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And not to mention the truck driver, what are you thinking? You know what the clearance is. It's not, and then you're stuck under there, so. Yeah. But we've got but I mean, there's that. And we've got also coming up, we've got going on with issue-wise, the state of Maryland needs rescuing, frankly. We need the help. We need things. Basically, Maryland is on life support, frankly. And if we do not win the governorship this time, or if we do not, build on our get to pick up a few seats here and there across Maryland State House, and if Westmore, heaven forbid, if he wins re-election, is going to be an utter disaster. Because what's going to happen is he's going to be busy running for president for 2028, and we're going to have Aruna Miller. Then again, maybe she might not be as bad as he is. I know the Democrats have been attacking her for her political views in the old country, which I think is funny that she has political views of what's going on in the old country. But
well, who's going to be the nominee, do you think?
I think it's not. I don't for president on the Democrat. I don't. It's not. I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be Westmore.
No, but I mean, who's going to run against him? Who do you think the Republican nominee? The Republican will run against Westmore.
It'll be Governor Ehrlich.
Okay.
Bob Ehrlich, or Senator Hershey, and then we got John Myrick. We got some fabulous candidates running.
I thought Jim Ports would be great. I like Jim Ports.
Jim Ports would be awesome.
Yeah,
Jim Ports would be another roads governor. We would get more roads done.
Oh yeah,
work done under Jim Ports. Yeah. But here's the thing: if Bob's governor, we're going to get more roads. Bob built us the Bob Ehrlich Expressway, which Maryland, which is Maryland 200 for people outside of the DMV. We've got. Yeah, I use it all the time.
Yep.
And I don't even mind paying for it. It's well worth doing, But that's another road that took forever to be built. There, I made my Agnew joke, but Governor Ehrlich talks about how there are signs out, future home, and underneath is you see a sign that says Eisenhower Nixon 52. That's how long that's what happens to. And we've had many governors, and Bob Ehrlich's the only one that got it done. It's like you had, and not all Democrats in Maryland were bad. I mean, Governor Schaefer was not a bad. I mean, he was bad, but not as bad. It's kind of like, he wasn't as bad as Paris Glendenning. Harry Hughes, he wasn't that bad. He wasn't as bad as William Donald Schaefer. And they couldn't, and they were both roads. They believed in roads and stuff like that, as did Governor McKelton. That's probably when the ICC got started under him. He was the first roads governor, And Governor Agnew was only governor for 2 years before he became vice president. But that's, that's the state of Maryland. It's a mess. I mean, Chris, I'm sure you're hearing a lot of these horror stories everywhere you go. Like over in your district, there's Route 15 that goes up to Harrisburg.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have traffic lights on that road? I use that road a lot. I really resent the fact that until I get to Pennsylvania, I'm stuck at 55 miles an hour.
Yeah. No, I get it quite a bit. And it's a balance that I've been trying to approach it with. And I said, look, what I strongly encourage is we need to build out the infrastructure so then they can decide how they develop around it. Because there's a lot of tension between overdevelopment that might be facilitated by either easing of some of the traffic in Frederick. I mean, I'm always amazed at the range of arguments that I hear, but I do think you want to set the conditions for people to make decisions at the county level to be able to develop or not develop, but we shouldn't do so at the expense of infrastructure that's falling behind. So I couldn't agree more. You've got to get some federal dollars into Maryland to upgrade the roads.
Yeah. I mean, if you looked at that interchange where there were 70 and 15 and 270 all meet up, that is a mess.
Yes.
That is a mess there, frankly. Why Delaney has not worried about that? Because you know how many accidents that happen there every year at that interchange there?
Or even how much money is lost in traffic. You start to quantify all of that traffic.
Why is Congresswoman Delaney not bringing federal dollars to fix that? Oh, wait, she doesn't live in the 6th district. She doesn't have to deal with it. She lives down county where she's close to everything, And I really think Route 15, they need to get rid of the traffic lights on Route 15 because, it goes right through Mount St. Mary's right there on Route 15. And I wonder how many kids are killed every year trying to cross that. What they need to do, just do an overpass, and you've got a lot of land there. You could do a clover leaf, or you could do a diamond interchange there, and it'll be just fine. You got the space to do it. And why they wouldn't do that? Why they want to risk seeing kids die trying to cross Route 15? And then there's also that other section on Route 15 where it is also accident prone, which is right at the outskirts of Frederick. There was a big accident there several years ago where an oil truck caught on fire and they'd evacuate the neighborhoods. But, and that's because, the job of a congressman, to beat up on Delaney, Congresswoman Delaney. What the hell are you doing in Washington?
And what I've, besides the moniker of Do Nothing Delaney, right now she's touting several projects that she has secured. And what I've told people is this is quite literally pennies on the dollar of what CD6 deserves and what CD6 requires.
Yeah. We
don't have an advocate actually making a position for CD6. She's accepting whatever's left over, playing national politics.
Yep.
We could get so much more for CD6 if we could just get our act together, clean up, what's needed, and then get us across the finish line, because I think she's vulnerable in 26. And if I didn't think so, I wouldn't be running.
Yeah. And she is, because when they had CD6 had a Congress that cared about the distance. That's when you got Interstate 68 out there. It's a beautiful road. I love using Interstate 68 going all the way to what I've used that going all the way to Morgantown in the past. And that's that's a nice road, but that was done back when Roscoe Bartlett was a congressman. And that's when they had even before Roscoe, they had a congresswoman there. I think her name was Beverly Birch or Beverly Byron. I think it was Beverly Birch, but she was
it Byron?
Yeah, Byron. You're right. And she was an old school Democrat. She convinced Roscoe to run, as the Republican. She fought for the 6th district, when Caterpillar was leaving Hagerstown. She did everything she could to, save Hagerstown, and John Delaney is too busy hanging out at a Congressional Country Club to care about the 6th district.
Well, they're playing national politics at the expense of the residents.
Yeah, she's too busy. She has to go to those Georgetown cocktail parties and talk about how bad President Trump is, and that's her. And we had. I mean, Roscoe was in Congress when Bill Clinton was president. Roscoe didn't go around every moment saying what a horrible, horrible president Bill Clinton is. He never did that. He actually got to work, rolled up his sleeves, and did what was best for the 6th district. Not spent days on days attacking Bill Clinton. And we also had a lot of foreign visitors in town this week. Dave, do you remember that?
Yeah. Right.
We had MPS was here.
Yep. And there's talk of pumping a lot of investment into the United States. Hopefully that'll come about. We'll see. I also thought it was interesting that, two things. Number one, Trump went to, I guess it was a McDonald's event with the executives and touted the company.
It was the franchisees' annual meeting, I think is what that was.
Well, Trump's a big fan of McDonald's, big believer in the company. And I am too. I mean, if you think about companies, what's more iconically American than McDonald's? I don't know. Maybe Chevrolet? I'm not sure, but
Cadillac,
Yeah. And then also with the Saudis, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked there, but with the Saudis, I thought it was amazing. And I don't ever recall this where a president goes after a Fed chair. But Trump then says, we should fire that guy, talking about Jay Powell. So he really
And Chris, you're former military.
Yeah.
Would you say those 4 or 5 members of Congress that was telling soldiers to disobey, would you say that was, tantamount to advocating for an insurrection against the president?
I'll start with it was absurd. Because the first question I have is what orders and who are you talking to? Are you talking to generals, admirals, officers, or junior enlisted? How are you going to go to bat for the junior enlisted that says, I think the shaving chit that expired is an illegal order to have me shave? Is that what they're talking about? How are we protecting the Constitution whenever we're going to have across the board issues of good order and discipline because they're being told by congressmen and senators not to obey orders that they feel as though is unlawful or illegal. And that, again, as a lawyer in the Marine Corps, when I heard that and they were former military, I was like, you've got to be kidding. You've completely lost your mind. Yeah. This is the worst kind of political stunt, using the military as sort of a playpen for a an empty political gesture where there's actual consequences.
Yep. And I mean, we've all heard. Remember, January 6th is like their 4th of July on the left. How horrible it was. The insurrection. They're basically advocating for a military coup. Is what they are advocating for. And I think those senators should resign. The members of the House should resign. And I'll tell you this. Tammy Duckworth is also a veteran. She's a crazy Democrat, but I'll tell you, she didn't participate in this. Tammy Duckworth,
Yeah.
I want to say she actually did something. I forget what it was, but she did something this week that I'm like, huh, good on her for doing that. And but
But the other thing is, I would say also, just by implication, it's sort of a smear on Trump.
Yep.
Because you're implying that, hey, he's going to have you do something illegal.
Oh yeah,
well,
and
I
their
don't know what evidence there is of that.
Yeah. And their defense is,
None.
well, we're just preparing people for in the future if he gives illegal orders.
Yeah.
You got
Well, they wouldn't do that if Biden were president or if Obama was president or
no. And go ahead.
That to me was that's not just a red line. Like, you don't play games in an area where there's actual consequences, because you've got folks that are downrange. You've got folks that are in a position where they're going to have a doubt about what they're being asked to do because of the level of risk, whether it's an ROE or rules of engagement, an escalation of force. It could be an issue on that's not the place to play games. We're saying that of course, everybody in the military knows that you can refuse an illegal or unlawful order, but to now throw it out there and to say that we've got your back and that somehow this is a difficult time to be in the military, they're either disconnected or willfully ignorant of the reality that most people in the military know this. Most people in the military take pride in the level of accountability that we train to and execute. And then to be told this by former military, I thought it was absurd. I agree. They should resign. They should know better. This is just irresponsible and an empty gesture.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, Kelly, Representative
Mark
Kelly, is he going to go to bat for somebody who says, hey, this is an illegal order, I don't want to, is he going to go to bat for them when they're
is he going to testify at their court martial?
Yeah, exactly. No, he's not. He's not. And his defense is going to be, Scott Kelly said to do this.
I guarantee you that's going to come up. I mean, having been a defense counsel in the military, that will come up. And at some point, you want to take care of veterans. Okay, then take care of that person. Show up at his court martial. Take responsibility for what you said. He may have misinterpreted, but they still relied on somebody who they thought was a trusted leader in this country. I thought that was irresponsible. I thought it was absurd, and I think calling for their resignation is appropriate.
Yeah, and we all know Mamdani was at the White House today.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any reports.
Not to interrupt you, but about Mamdani, I didn't get to see it or the coverage because I was working on a post and I had another podcast.
Yeah.
I just saw one picture of Trump sitting and Mamdani standing next to him. So go ahead, Dwight. Finish.
I was saying there hasn't been much on it. I mean, I've been looking around, listening. But
did they not have press in? They didn't bring the press in?
No, press was not going to be there.
I saw a little bit of press in the Oval Office. I saw a quick snippet where Trump had said, wishes him well and hopes that he does well. And I thought that was at least the snippet that I saw. I don't know if there was more to that.
Yeah, that's what Fox News has. And they've got Fox News has a little bit of a story on there, but I tell you, you got to hand it to the president. He actually, he's kind of like, he reminds me of James Bond. He'd go out, he'd have martinis with Blofeld or Key Largo or any of his enemies. This is what it's like. It's like, President Trump is 007 and Mamdani's like Blofeld,
This is what civil discourse looks like. Yeah. This is what the Democrats bark about. And the one person that probably did it better than anyone else was arguably Trump was a little bit humiliated and embarrassed by. He went out in for Cuomo. Cuomo lost. He graciously accepted Mamdani into the office and wished him well. That is civil discourse.
Yes.
That's what we should have.
It's not like the president said, I'm going to squeeze your little city,
Yes.
And so he didn't say that. He didn't say, I'm taking away all the money, that the federal money from you.
The other thing to remember, though, and this is very significant, is that Trump is a New Yorker at heart, really. He grew up there. He's from Queens. For him, I think he really loves the city. So it's going to be different for him in New York than, say, in LA or Chicago. And secondly, in terms of Mamdani, is the reason he'd want to, it was smart for him to talk to Trump, not just because Trump's the president, but remember, Trump knows so much about New York. He knows about the building. He knows about laws, zoning. this history of the city. So he's a very, very, very valuable resource. So if you're a mayor of New York, I think you're going to want to talk to Trump.
Yeah.
Just his position aside, just in terms of his knowledge.
And let me tell you, there is a brewing civil war in the Democrat. I mean, we're seeing it. I mean, you have another DSA mayor elected in Seattle this week. You in Montgomery County, you have Mark Elrick is a DSA Democrat, proudly card-carrying member of the. Yes,
I didn't know.
As is Will Jawando, Mr. Do you know who I am? He's got a get out of jail free card, and he's also got a DSA card. And there's a lot of Democrats running for county executive. I was looking at the Board of Elections today, Chris. I cannot believe how many Democrats have already filed for county executive, county council. But the fact that and also I think Hakeem Jeffries may get primaried. But
the thing is, Dwight, about the division, I'll put it this way. I think it's going to get to the point where you're going to get more and more Democratic socialists getting elected in the cities, but the Democrats in the suburbs will keep calling themselves Democrats. But you're going to have this real divide.
No, but I mean, Montgomery County is the suburbs, Dave, and we've got a DSA county executive.
Yeah. I was just saying in general cities, but you're right. There are a lot of liberals counties and local small governments too. So.
I mean, I don't know if Brandon Scott has ever said he's a DSA Democrat, but he's a DSA Democrat, the mayor of Baltimore City. And by the way, last night we were over at the Prince George's County Lincoln Reagan dinner. They had Chris Pabst was the speaker. He does I Own Baltimore for Sinclair, and his book. I recommend anyone running for office go buy his book. His book. He's got everything broken down, like costs per. I mean, some of the stuff that I heard about these public schools. Chris, did you know this? On September 30th, that's the day you identify how many kids are in the school.
Yeah, I'd heard of this only in the news recently, where there's several tens of thousands of children that are being claimed for that money's being allocated, and it's not, those kids aren't accounted for.
Yeah, and by the way, the money that they allocated, Chris gave some great examples, like in Baltimore City, right? We spent more money on Baltimore City public schools. Math scores went down. And the state of Maryland has decided that, hey, how they're combating the graduation rate in some of the jurisdictions. They are lowering the bar. Hey, maybe we should teach these kids to read and write and do arithmetic on a basic level, because these functional tests that they give are on a 4th grade level. I worry that these kids are going to be working at places, where they can't do 4th grade math,
it's like with Chicago. They said that of all the high schools apparently in Chicago, none of them actually. I think it was none where the test scores were actually majority were proficient in both math and I guess in reading. So you had none of them. So it is a sad state.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're running for Congress, Chris, but if anybody's out there listening is running for House of Delegates, County Council, County Executive, look up Chris Pabst. His book is awesome.
Yeah, whether you're running for office or, I think as a parent, I've got 4 kids in Montgomery County schools. I mean, this is an issue that's near and dear to my heart, from accountability and are we doing the right by our kids? And then I've got 4, 2 little ones and 2 high schoolers.
Yeah. And would you believe it, Chris, that these guys are taking the bulk of the money that's being spent is spent on administrators? Not even, you're not, the money's not getting into the classroom. You've got, there's no, the money, I think you're getting maybe about $5 per child. Actually, that might be a little low, but you get so little amount of money into the classrooms of the money that's spent. I mean, honest to God, and I did this article years ago, back when they were giving public schools in Maryland were patting themselves on the back, Chris, for having test scores go up 1 base point. They're saying, "Oh my God." And this was after the 1972 SAT scores that were the lowest ever in 72. They decided to spend, they more than quadrupled spending on education. And I did a little graph and it was a straight line. They're just, you get these little blips up and nothing like this. It's more like, up and down. So it's like a flat line basically. And we should be graduating Rhodes Scholars with the amount of money we pay per child in the public school system in Maryland, And it's not just Maryland, it's national. It's like the same things happening in Virginia and Delaware and Pennsylvania.
And some of these school systems are very, very expensive per child. You're talking about 15, 16, 17,000 per pupil, and not very, very good system, not very good schools. So,
I mean, I know the last time I checked, Catholic schools is about $8,000 a year.
Yeah.
How is it that they can teach a child for $8,000 while the county seems to get $17,000 per student, and they feel that's not enough money?
Yeah.
They're focused on learning, not on indoctrination.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Chris, I'm sure you get these at the beginning of the year, a list of school supplies you have to send them. What are they doing with all the money that they get? Why do you need to subsidize the school with a box with paper, pencils, crayons, box of Kleenex? Why do you have to subsidize them?
You're right. We get a list where it has everything from Lysol wipes to, for the little ones, it's crayons and the other, like classroom tools. And then for the older ones, there's other requirements. But it's amazing. I would agree that that's, for what we're spending, that should be included. That should not be a cost that's passed along.
Well, that's true.
I mean, also, I don't know. I heard this story. I think it probably still happens around Christmas time. They'll send the kids home with recommended gifts for the kids. I remember this is probably about 10, 15 years ago. I saw one. They had Tiffany's, like jewelry from Tiffany's as a suggested gift for the teacher. And this is and DC 101, Elliot in the Morning program. They sent one of their interns out to talk to, and they go, well, Montgomery County, most of these parents are high net worth individuals. So yeah, why not give a teacher something from Tiffany's, a blue box from Tiffany's? And like, what are you people doing? Where are your priorities? But we've got that, and it's there's just something really, really wrong going on right now. Frankly, the fact that the way education is run in the country, frankly, I think we really need a big overhaul of the whole system. But the thing, the other big news this week is the president signed the bill to release the Epstein files. And Kamala was on a podcast saying, hey, Kamala, you and President Autopen were president for 4 years. You could have released the Epstein files. You didn't. And now they're going to release them. And now they're going to say, oh, those are fake when their friends are on that list.
That's right. That was shocking. I still can't put together how this has become such a big deal after they sat on these files for 4 years.
Yeah.
It was just, this is such a, political theater for the sake of political theater. I think this is going to backfire on the Democrats. I think this is going to blow back and hit them in the face.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. And let me tell you,
if you get a chance, the Epstein files, I just posted a couple hours ago my column on it, and that's the reason I put the link. So if anyone wants to check that out, I wrote a little bit about that.
By the way, the House vote for condemning socialism today. There are 98 members of the House of Representatives that didn't vote to condemn socialism. I wonder who they are.
The socialists.
I know, but I wonder
Admitted,
who
leaning.
specifically. I wonder where our local. I bet Jamie Raskin is part of the 98. I would venture to guess that
How many voted to condemn it? Were there some?
285.
Oh,
So, but we had
of
98.
Democrats. Of Democrats. How many Democrats voted to condemn socialism?
No, it was. Yeah, this is I'm just reading Don's notes. I could find out for you real quick. You know what the breakdown was.
I just wondered.
No, I'd like to know. I think our listeners also would enjoy seeing.
I'm sure some did. I would assume.
You know,
I'm doing the same thing, Dwight.
Well,
yeah. Because I think Americans have a right to know if Congresswoman Delaney voted for or against socialism.
Well, I know she voted against the crime bills, which, of course, I was in full support of, and she voted against both of those, which would give some of the some protections back to law enforcement and give them the tools and the protections they need to do their job. She voted against those, of course. I did not look up whether or not she voted for or against the condemnation of socialism. I'm as curious as you are.
Yeah, I'm Googling it right now.
I've asked Grok, and Grok is running slow right now.
Is it? So many people using Grok. Let's see. Where is this story from? Okay, today is November 21st. 285 to 98. Now, let me know. This is on political, so they're not going to tell me who. Maybe. Let's see.
Grok is thinking on my end.
Whoops.
Dave, if you don't mind, what did you write about Epstein?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? Yeah. Well, basically, I said I don't think there's anything there criminally because it's been looked at, and if there was anything against Trump criminally that would have already been prosecuted, I think the reason they withhold it is that you're going to have a lot of innocent, quote unquote, innocent people who were involved with Epstein, but not involved with his crimes. And so a lot of this is going to get released. And so you'll have some innocent people, potentially innocent victims and all that are going to get their names exposed. And I think that's the reason that a lot of, traditionally speaking, we wouldn't release this sort of stuff. But you had the political aspect that they're digging for something and they think Trump's hiding something. So they'll want it released, like a Marjorie Taylor Greene and a Tom Massey. It's the Trump hate.
Tom Massey. I am done with Tom Massey.
Well, I am too. Yeah, I don't care for him or Green. But anyway, so check out the columns.
Now, I was saying ChatGPT tells me they were all Democrats. All 98 of them were Democrats, but it doesn't tell me who they were.
Yeah.
If it was the other way around, we'd know who the Republicans were if it was any Republicans.
Yeah, I don't think a single Republican's going to vote.
No, absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, like, if this was, say,
you definitely get a primary challenge if that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, if they were, say, voting on, if they decided to say, hey, tell us, for repealing Obamacare, we'd know every single Republican that votes to repeal Obamacare. Now, hopefully it would be 100% of the Republicans would vote to repeal Obamacare.
Yeah, it looks like Delaney voted to condemn socialism, and it will be really interesting if Trone jumps into the race and he tries to primary her. She's going to have to move to the left to distinguish herself from Trone. It's going to be curious. I'd be curious to see if this comes back to burn her, because she would have to appeal to this segment of the party if Trone jumps in and tries to seize the middle from her.
Yeah, or country club friends, she has to, they won't vote for her.
That's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, it is interesting. We'll know by Monday who voted how, which Democrat of our. And I'm willing to bet a pizza that Jamie Raskin voted against.
That's a good bet.
Well, the thing is with
I just want the pizza.
Well, with socialism, we'll see with Mandami how that goes. We'll see the experiment. And so that's why, in a way, maybe it was good that Mandami won. Because then he can be the example.
Yes.
But here's the dirty little secret, Dave. America did try socialism. The Massachusetts Bay Colony practiced socialism, collective.
Almost starved to death, right?
Yeah, collective farming,
Yeah.
And the following year, they decided to go away from that, and people could grow whatever they want, how much as they want. And the food yields were much higher when they didn't do the. And this is one of those. I knew about it from history class, but I also remember Paul Harvey that did a thing about the rest of the story. Yeah. But yeah, the Massachusetts Bay Colony tried. So, are we surprised it was the Massachusetts Bay Colony that experimented with socialism? I just kind of find it a little funny that it's Massachusetts Bay Colony that wanted to do that. But we are getting close to the end of the show, and there is one thing I do want to talk about is we've got the Maryland Republican Party convention coming up on December 5th and 6th this year. Everyone should go to that. It'll be a good event, and it's a good way. Chris, I hope you'll be there. Friday night is the fun times to be there, And I think we've got, if you've never been to a Maryland State Party convention, you definitely want to come. If you don't come Saturday, because Saturday is the boring business stuff. But if you come Friday night, there's a lot of fun stuff happening. A lot of people there. You get to meet some people from over the years and so on. And everyone has opinions, and they'll share those with you and so on. It's just a lot of fun. You see people before the fights at the convention. But this should be an uneventful convention, though. We've got one bylaws thing, and that's it.
Dwight, I think that's where I first met you. Was the last convention Friday night?
Dorchester. Yeah, Dorchester, right?
Yes, I think. And then you were having people over, like doing the room.
Yeah, we will be doing the same thing again.
It was great.
He did. Yeah. Thank you, Craig.
Craig, yeah.
It's not like nobody's shocked about that.
So you bet a pizza.
Yeah. So yeah. Craig, December 5th, I will give you a pizza. Well, actually, I should be getting the pizza because I bet anyone a pizza that Raskin didn't vote for it. He voted. He voted. Yeah.
No, I think you were right. I think someone owes you a pizza.
Yes, I know. So you can give me a pizza on the 7th, Craig. But yeah, so we've got that, and even more. Oh wow, Craig. Hey, Craig, can you email me this also? Because I think we could have some fun with this.
Did they vote to condemn it, or these voted for it?
These are all condemned. Look at the names.
Yeah, look at the states.
I can't tell because you got Massachusetts in there and you got Florida.
Yeah, this is a Democrat from Florida.
All right, well, then I don't know. I'll look it up.
You got Herb Cotton.
I'll look it up.
This is awesome.
All right.
Yep. They voted the right way, Craig. Are you saying these guys voted our way?
Who knows?
No, because his follow-up is these voted to condemn. So
okay.
So these are the Democrats that believe in America.
That'd have to be a list you have to dig through.
Yeah. But hey, a broken clock is right twice a day, right?
Yeah.
Even David Moon says, hey, we shouldn't raise taxes and fees. Think there's an election coming up, Dave? Is that why you feel that way?
Mm.
But let's get to final thoughts. Let's start with you, Chris. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I think there was a quote from Margaret Thatcher that I was thinking of earlier, which is the problem with socialism is that at some point you run out of other people's money. So I think that hits the nail on the head for what we're going to see in New York City. It's great until you run out of other people's money. I think it's hilarious that he's continuing his social media campaign asking for people to fund his transition. And then they think that somehow this is going to turn into free buses, city-run grocery stores.
Didn't he already say it doesn't look like we can do free buses?
I can't keep, but at some point he's going to have to actually live in reality. But I will say I'm going to try to make it to at least the first day of the Maryland GOP. I've got several events that weekend. One of them is a gun bash where we're giving away 5 rifles up at Maryland Arsenal. It's a
nice.
It's a gun range owned by a former Marine. He was retired as a gunnery sergeant. He's got a beautiful place. So we're going to run the event up there. We're going to have 3 lanes open. So if you show up, there's free range time. You just got to bring your own ammunition, your own weapons, your own safety gear. And then we're going to be giving away 5 rifles. But really looking forward to that on the 6th.
That sounds like more fun than the Christmas party. I mean, more fun than the convention.
I'm not going to lie. I'd rather be shooting than listening to the meeting minutes of the Maryland GOP. So I will be with you in spirit, but I will be throwing some rounds down range.
But I hope you can join us Sunday for our Christmas party on the 7th.
Oh, I'll try to make that. Absolutely. I have an event on Sunday with a small group, but if I can get out of there early, I'd rather hang out with you guys for the Christmas party.
Yes, 2 to 4. It's all for Toys for Tots, you know.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely try to get over there. Especially, it's a no-brainer. If I can sneak out of that event, I'll see you there. Okay. Tomorrow, though, for my CD6 Saturdays, I'm going to start the morning food drive with the Montgomery County GOP, dropping off some non-perishables and dog food. Then going up to Frederick, we're doing some door knocking with Maryland Better Schools, Tom Newman. He's got a great organization up there doing great work. So we're going to try to knock on about 600 to 700 doors tomorrow. And then I'll spend Saturday night out in Allegheny. I have to drop off some signs. And then one of my volunteers is doing his first live show at a local bar. So I'm going to take my 2 little ones to a live show out in Allegheny. And that should be a fun Saturday. And then Sunday, we always do Yard Sign Sunday. I'll probably be in Montgomery County and Frederick just going around delivering signs. So it should be a good week coming up.
Yeah. It's going to be, unfortunately, I think, is it Sunday they're saying it's going to be raining a little bit?
Maybe. And I think the week, I mean, depending on you look at the weather for the week, you know, I think there's rain or some spotty weather throughout the week. I don't know about you. The day after Thanksgiving, whether I'm in Pennsylvania, Maryland, or Ohio, I'm going to be trying to harvest a deer this year. If I can get one in each state, that would be great. As long as I get one, I'll be really happy this year.
You're going with the latest models of the John Deeres?
No, not the latest model of John Deere. Not at all. Not unless you can eat it.
Yeah. And so, by the way, April McLean Delaney did vote to condemn socialism.
Yes, she did.
And,
I'm going to be curious to see if that will come back to bite her. If Trone jumps in, if she starts moving to the left, I have a feeling this vote could come back to burn her because these are the people that she's going to be trying to draw from that segment of the party. If Trone tries to swallow up all the air as far as moderate.
And here's also something else. It doesn't even have to be David Trone that runs against her. It could be a enterprising DSA Democrat who's in the House of Representatives, you know, frankly. It could be anyone it could be Cheryl Kagan could throw her hat in there. And, you know, I mean, Mamdani and AOC, for as bad as they are, but they're really good for raising money for Democrats. You know, I'm sure, you know, April can just strike a check, you know.
That's why I think Trone is really the only serious contender because he could match her quite literally dollar for dollar and probably go 2 to her 1. And it would be interesting to see what happens with the 2 of them. I think there's a sprint to the left, and then we can watch a bruising primary. Yeah, and then I think that's part of our pathway to making CD6 red again.
Absolutely, take back 6.
That's the plan.
Yeah. Final thoughts, Dave.
Well, I got up a column earlier this afternoon on, like I said, the Epstein case. So check that out on my Substack, and did my podcast as well before we went on. All's doing good, and just looking forward to the weekend. Hopefully not too cold here, but I had to get rid of the leaves, clean out the gutters, and it was just a matter of a week or two ago. They filled up again, so I had to do it again. So hopefully by now, most all the leaves are off the trees. But otherwise, check out the Substack and look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yeah. And we've got Thanksgiving's coming. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And the other big news is we've got our Christmas party fast approaching December 7th. And then we have then next week, we've got the week after Thanksgiving, we got our state party convention. But Chris will be firing off a few rounds, fire sticks, as he called them, on the Planet of the Apes. And so yeah, it's should be a good convention. And then we've got the state party's Christmas party, which is December 13th at Nicola Ambrose's home in lovely Baltimore. Hey Dave, you should definitely try to go to that. I'm not gonna be able to go there, but you should definitely try to be there for that.
All right.
Yeah, it's over in Baltimore. Use your GPS.
All right.
Well worth the drive.
Shoot me the address.
And Nickley's a good person to know too.
All right, good.
Like she can get you tours.
I'll get you more information next week, but I am coming back to Maryland to do a book event. So
where are you going to?
I'll get that to you next week. The info for where and when.
Okay. That sounds good. And what else do we have? So by the way, I just want to talk to the Redskins fans out there. Who are you going to blame now that the Redskins still suck with this new owner? Are you still blaming Dan Snyder for this? Please. Now that you have a true blue Democrat owner, like Jack and Cook. But what's going to be the best is when we name that stadium President Donald J. Trump Stadium. Every time Springsteen has to play Trump Stadium, he's going to have his tickets will all say at Trump Stadium. And that will be so much fun because a little bit of the boss will die every time that happens. But and I think it's brilliant, frankly. And I'd like to know what Governor Wes Moore's plans are for the FedEx Field that we paid for. We paid for the roads around it. Jack and Cook. As much as I dislike Jack and Cook, he did pay for the stadium himself.
Yeah, he did.
But nevertheless, that's all I have. See everyone next week and happy Thanksgiving. And if you're watching us on YouTube, basically smash the like button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, which means more people see. I mean, come on, guys on YouTube. Rumble is killing you guys. We have more people watching us on Rumble than YouTube. So go. Do you really want to be second to YouTube? I mean, smash the like button. Good night, everyone.
Happy
Good night,
Thanksgiving.
everybody.
Happy
See you
Thanksgiving.
later.
Bye.